Good morning, Chamber members. Welcome to Monday Minute for January 27th, 2020. It's hard to imagine that the first month of the year is basically behind us. I just have an economic update for you from an economic rewind, actually, a decade in review from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in their 5 minutes for business. So we'll attach that for you to review as well. But there's a couple of interesting things they talk about in there, some of them not so great. The fact that, here's an interesting fact that the Black Eyed Peas were on the air in 2010, and of course boot-cut jeans were fashionable at the time. So started the hopeful period in the 2010s. Hopeful signs that we had weathered the crisis of 2008, and that it's certainly far better than most of our G7 peers. The labor market, though, the downturn in 2008 and 9 left hopeful signs. After the highest level of unemployment in 2009 at 8.4%, we saw that a decade of growth, and of course we've seen that unemployment rate fall dramatically. Until, of course, last fall, where the job numbers, the losses of Canadian jobs of 71,000 in November have started to cause concern and worry for some folks. And of course, it'll be something that I know the Chamber folks will be watching for us on the national level. They discuss how many of those jobs were filled by newcomers, and a lot of that trending has actually masked some of the significant challenges in our workforce, specifically around productivity and GDP growth. They talk about the year-over-year productivity has only grown 0.3% in Canada, while over the same period it's 1.8% growth in the US. Also, our GDP has decreased 3% since 2010, and the US has seen a whopping 35% increase in the same period, so a very significant gap there. The core of the issues revolve around our deteriorating competitiveness on the world stage, and I know you've heard us talk about that before. Canada was ranked number 10 in the World Economic Forum's global competitiveness rankings in 2010. Since then, we've fallen to 14th. Mostly attributed to our own failings in Canada, those of a regulatory broken system, interprovincial trade barriers, and of course we've talked many times about our antiquated tax system, and of course we'd like to see that a review done. So in 2010, the Canadian corporate taxes were 3.9% lower than the OECD average. Now they are 0.9% higher, and so that is a concern as well. And while 2010 brought hope of economic growth after a recession, they fear that 2020 brings the potential of an economic downturn. So it's an interesting read. I hope you'll take a minute to review that. The other thing we wanted to touch base today on is that we're going to start soon to be doing a monthly page in the local newspaper that Battlefords publishing. And one of the key things we'd like to put in it is a section on member milestones. So if there's a celebration that you're having in your business, a name change, an anniversary, a milestone that you'd like to have acknowledged, please just let us know here at the Chamber office, and we're happy to make sure that they get put into the newspaper so that we can include them in that part of the column. Anyway, I hope you have a great week in business. We're looking forward to another great week here in the Battlefords, and we'll see you next week.